Hi, Jim Van Zandt here, one of the pastors with Carlisle United Methodist Church and Sermon in 3 Minutes. Thanks for tuning in. We've been in a series called Being a Disciple here at CUMC, and this past week we talked about serving the church. We believe that in being a disciple, one of the promises that we probably all need to make is to be of service to God, to Jesus, and His church. I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but the church in the first century grew most rapidly as a result of the work of the lay people, of the people who sacrificed and gave themselves for the work of the church and the cause of Jesus Christ. It wasn't the work of the priests or the clergy, it was the lay people. There's a wonderful story in the 6th chapter of Acts where the clergy are getting all worn out from trying to take care of the increasing number of widows and orphans, as the church always did, took care of the most vulnerable of society. Wild accusations are getting thrown around, people are being excluded, some are being overlooked, and why they realize, these priests and these clergy, very early on, that they need to get help. And so they appoint and anoint 7 to help them with this ministry of the church. What's interesting is they must have been so important and so well thought of that their names are recorded in scriptures. Folks, you don't get your names in the scriptures unless you're considered a pretty important person. One of those names is the name of Stephen, who you might recognize from stoning fame. We know he was martyred for his faith, and we know who was at his stoning was Saul of Tarsus, who later becomes Paul the Apostle. The church grew most rapidly and most vigorously as the work of the saints, from the work of the lay people, not the clergy. You know, if you're sick in your hospital room and you think when I come in to visit you, suddenly you will hear angel choirs, suddenly you will levitate off your bed. That doesn't happen. No, I serve a function and a role in the church. Paul called all the laypersons, those who believe in Jesus Christ, saints, and my role very clearly is to equip the saints for ministry, and that's been the understanding. I serve a function. I've never been comfortable with the words clergy or laity. I always thought they kind of made us think that there's a subtle hierarchy in the church that isn't there scripturally. No, we're all in the same journey, going to the same place. I just serve a different role and function in equipping you, the saints, for ministry. So I used this past Sunday to talk about how to equip and to be motivated to work as one of the saints. You know, there are 4 chairs in every church. 4 chairs. There is the administrative board or council, and they govern. There's the 2nd chair by the pastors, and they lead. There's the church staff in a chair who manage the ministries. And then there's the 4th chair. This is the chair where the disciples, the saints, the laity sit. In too many churches, the 4th chair is missing. See, disciples understand that they have to sit in the 4th chair. It's really not an option, because the church is to be the most radical instrument of Jesus Christ on the planet. And if the disciples, the laity, if they don't sit in those chairs, why the church is working with an arm behind its back, trying to do some of the important work in ministries to represent Jesus Christ in the world. So the challenge is to sit in the 4th chair. I'd like for you to think about ways that you might be able to sit in that 4th chair in your church or whatever fellowship that you might be a part of, that you might make the church the most aggressive and the most powerful force for the cause of Jesus Christ. God bless you. Have a great week.